If you're an overweight guy that's in your 20s, but you still want the abs, then here is everything that you must avoid if you want to make a transformation like the one that's on screen. And by the end of the video, you're going to be one step closer to turning that fat pack into a six pack. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first point, we need to address why you don't have the abs in the first place and your lack of understanding of it. You see, you can do as many ab workouts in the world, but if you are overweight, you're just not going to see your abs. And here's the weirdest part, because every single person on this planet has abs. Whether you can see those abs or not is a completely different story. Why? Because some people's abs are hidden by a layer of fat. Now, our goal is to get rid of that fat and remove it. And to do that, we need to be in a calorie deficit. But with that being said, let's move on to the things that you, my friend, need to avoid if you want to have some abs. And arguably, what I would say is the most important on this list is avoiding harsh calorie cuts. Whenever we want abs, the first thing that people do is slash their calories in half. This is bad for a number of reasons. Number one, you are going to lose weight very quickly, yes, but you're also at risk of losing muscle. You're going to have the downside of craving food, of being more hungry, of not being able to function, your gym performance tanking, and worst of all, like I've said many times on this channel, you're going to become skinny fat. And as you can see on the image on screen, that is not a look you want to be going for. But what's even worse is that you can have a really poor relationship with dieting if you approach weight loss in this way, which is very hard to fix. And to whoever's watching right now, I know you are extremely guilty of this one. And that is that you need to avoid just focusing on ab workouts. Ab workouts are amazing for developing your abs, not getting them in the first place. So if you're a person who is just focused on doing ab exercises and not focused on being in a calorie deficit, you are not going to see the abs because you're not actively trying to remove that layer of fat. Think about it this way. Ab workouts are to develop and enhance our abs, and then our diet and our calorie deficit, it's how we see them in the first place. Now, some really powerful stuff there as usual, but this next one I would say is arguably more dangerous than the stuff that we've talked about before, and that's avoid killing yourself with cardio. Don't get me wrong, cardio has many benefits, but if you are overdoing cardio, the cons start to outweigh the pros. You could see an increase in your appetite, which could cause you to go way off your calorie deficit. You can be more fatigued. Again, this can hinder your muscle growth. If you're doing too much, it could even ruin your muscle growth. Okay, we could lose muscle, and again, you could become skinny fat. I do get it that cardio is very important, so here's what I would recommend to you if you still want to incorporate a lot of cardio and trim some of that body fat. I would aim for 8 to 10,000 steps a day, and then if you really want to, if you can keep up and you can sustain it, add 2 half-an-hour cardio sessions on top of that. And this could be anything like the Stairmaster, incline walk, a sport that you love and that you enjoy, anything that you can keep up with and you can be consistent with, because what you're consistent with is what you're going to stick to. Now, I have to be honest with you here and say that this one has to be the strangest on the list, because it's not anything physical. It's actually a mental shift. And what I'm about to say to you right now should really relate and resonate with any situation that you've had in your life. How many times have you been really focused on something, so zoned in on it? You put all of your time and all of your energy into it. But no matter how much you try, no matter how much you focus, the thing that you want, the more you focus on it, it just gets further and further and further away from you. Whether that be money, whether it be, grades or career goals. I know some of you guys are still in college or whatever. But the more you focus on it, the more you just seem to repel it. It's a similar thing with weight loss and your abs. I found the more that I kept trying to focus on it and being like, oh, I want abs, I want abs, I want abs, and I want the abs right now, I just never got them. So the solution here is going to be just put it to the back of your mind. And I know it's hard when it's something that you really want, but just take each day at a time. Don't focus on the abs. Instead, I want you to focus on doing the daily tasks that can help you move the needle forward in terms of your weight loss overall, i.e. getting your steps in, going to the gym. Just make sure that all of your calorie deficit, make sure all of those boxes are ticked, and you'll find that naturally over time you will start to see the abs. It's so weird, it sounds woo-woo, I know, but it really works. The less you stop focusing on the abs, the quicker that you will see them. Now, here's the funniest thing, because the time doesn't just magically condense, but your perception of the time, when you stop focusing on the thing that you really, really want and desire, that is when you're going to get what you want. Arguably my favorite one on this list, but how about we keep moving forward? And this one is really going to hit home for some of you, and it's not going to be something that you want to hear, but this is why I'm here. I tell you the things that you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And that's avoid letting the scale get you down. A lot of people, especially on Instagram, I get DMs talking about scale anxiety and how people don't want to step on the scales. And I get it. I was at that point as well. You need to remember that you can't let the scales dictate your life, dictate how you feel. Because at the end of the day, it's just a number. And the weirdest part is, despite how you feel about that number, it is actually there to help you. What if I told you that the problem itself wasn't the scale? The problem is how you're perceiving that number on the scale and what you associate it with. Now, this will circle back to abs in a minute, but I need you to focus on this. When we're weighing ourselves on the scale, it's not just displaying fat, it's weighing everything in our body, whether it be undigested food, whether it be water, whether it be fat as well. So if you step on the scale and it's a little bit higher than usual, then don't panic. It is unlikely fat, especially if you have been doing all the right things and you've been in a calorie deficit. Okay, it could be inflammation from training. Okay, you could have had excess water. Maybe you went to bed later. Maybe you ate later. All of this just to say that that doesn't mean that just because the scale is higher, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get your abs. It doesn't mean that you have gained fat. And if you live by the number on the scale, like I did for a long time, you'll become very, very unhappy. And sometimes you'll even become scared of the scale. There was one point where I remember I ate half an hour later than usual. And I went into the bathroom the following morning to go and step on the scale, and I didn't because I was just terrified that number was going to be higher. Our body does strange things, and for all I know, that number could have actually been lower, but I was just paralyzed and petrified by the fear of my scale weight being higher than usual. So if you live by the scale, you're setting yourself up for failure, because the scale isn't going to show you the whole picture. It never does. The scale is an amazing tool for you to use along your weight loss journey. It provides data points that we can go off of and identify trends and fix things in our weight loss journey, but it's not the be all and end all. So what do I suggest? Because I want to give you an actual step that you can take away from this video and you can implement into your journey. I want you to take other forms of measurement, whether that be using a tape measure, and most importantly, taking your progress pictures, which funnily enough is going to be the next point that we're going to talk about. And you must avoid not taking progress pictures or being lazy with your progress pictures. Guys, there's a reason on this channel why you only mainly see 2 images of me when I'm overweight. Why is that? That's because I only took those 2, and while I was losing the weight, I didn't think of taking any more. Number one, this is great because you can look back at where you came from. You can see the progress that you've made. You want to know what's worse than just staying overweight? Is losing weight and having no recollection of what you really look like, and not even knowing where or when you started. That's the current reality that I'm living right now, and I really don't want that for you, because it's terrifying, it's horrible. But if you're a person who struggles to take progress pictures on a consistent basis, then these are 2 steps that I want you to move forward with. Number 1, set a day where you take your progress pictures, and ideally this is going to be a day where you're not very busy, where you don't have a lot going on. Why? Because you're going to have less excuses when it comes to taking that progress picture. And number 2, when you're taking your progress pictures, do it first thing in the morning, before you brush your teeth, before you do anything. Maybe like go to the toilet or something, like that's fine, but just make sure that is the very first thing that you do. You're going to take a picture from the front, a picture from the side, the back, and then the other side as well. And then you can also take a video as well. And then as a bonus tip, just for maximum value here, make sure that you're taking your progress pictures in the same place so we can maintain a level of consistency amongst the photos. And here's a benefit that you might not have thought of while I was explaining the importance of progress pictures. It helps when you get really frustrated with your lack of progress. If you feel like for whatever reason you're following all of the steps and all the advice and it is just not working and it's not clicking, you can always go back and reference those progress pictures and see your progress from week to week, from month to month, so you can see that gradual progression. This is why progress pictures are so important. So if you are an overweight guy who just happen to be in their 20s, or you're a little bit older and you're just sick and tired of holding on to that body fat and you just want to get it gone for good, and you want to do that without all of the stress that comes along with it, I'd watch the video on screen, so I think it will really help you out.